Welcome to NASCAR.com GarageCam, presented by Mobile One at Watkins Glen International, one of the most picturesque places we go. And man, we have a lot of fun when we come up here to the Glen. I'm Matthew Dillner, your host, having a great time. And look, we met a big GarageCam fan outside of the garage here. Tell us who you are.
I'm Blaine Smith from Connecticut, big GarageCam fan, chat room fan. We're here in Watkins Glen and Finger Lakes, a beautiful racetrack. I'd like to say hello to Tigra, Luis DiDonato, who's probably got the pole, right?
Luis DiDonato messaged me and said he's not watching. So not watching. Actually, he's watching on his tablet, but he's not in the live chat. So hey, I'm going to give this guy the pole position today. Oh, Leah Bartlett, you were the first person in the chat, but this guy's here.
How are you, Leah? Good to see everybody.
We're a big NASCAR.com fan. That's awesome. And a big NASCAR fan. So many great fans up here in the Northeast region. Just talking to him, and he's from Connecticut. So Northeast, a very strong region for NASCAR auto racing, and Watkins Glen, one of the most favorite stops on our circuit. The silver and black Haas CNC colors for Tony Stewart. We got Chuck Busch on the camera today, rocking it with a really cool Hawaiian shirt. I wish you guys could see it. It's not Hawaiian, but it's definitely colorful. Chuck Busch, he's an interesting cat. I love him. But Tony Stewart's number 14 car here, the Mobile One entry. This is your Mobile One GarageCam show, and this driver right here, the best of the best when we come to Watkins Glen. 5 wins, the most of anybody in the series. Jeff Gordon second with 4 wins. Best driver rating of any driver here. So if you're playing NASCAR Fantasy Live on NASCAR.com, hey, this 14 team has turned up the wick as of late. And they're coming to a place where, well, he's just super strong, bottom line. So put that 14 on your squad. Walking out here, and it's a little noisy, and that's because Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s number 17 Ford EcoBoost Ford Fusion has fired up the engines, and back in the garage, Casey Kane's number 5 team working on this car, getting it on scale pads, adjusting the toe. You see those toe plates on the front of that number 5 Great Clips machine, and making sure the toe is right, the weight is just perfect, and this thing is all balanced and ready to go. Alongside this number 5 car here in this garage area is a driver pulling double duty. This driver, Trevor Bayne, trying to get himself into the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Right now he's sitting 19th. He still has a little bit of a way to go, and this is a racetrack. We talked to him in the Xfinity Series GarageCam, and he self-admittedly said he's not the best at road course racing. So what has he and this Roush Fenway organization done? They were smart enough to go, okay, we can use our Xfinity program to better our NASCAR Sprint Cup Series driver. So pulling double duty this weekend. Trevor Bayne already with 2 big practice sessions yesterday for the Xfinity Series, and some track time also today in that number 60 car in that garage. So a lot of track time for the Tennessee native. The rookie stripe is on the back of the Motorcraft Ford, and, well, Ryan Blaney sure is a rookie here this weekend. He's been up here for so many years with his dad. He even won the dirt race around the block from here in Outlaw Speedway years ago. But this will be the first time that Ryan Blaney competes here at this famed Watkins Glen road course. As they roll the 21 out into the sunshine here, Watkins Glen, beautiful weather on hand. Of course, getting set for the first practice for this weekend's Cheez-It 355 at the Glen. Greg Biffle doing some interviews over here for Fox. He's got the Cheez-It branding on his car. He has the Cheez-It branding on his suit. We'll see if we could grab the Biff for one question right here. I mean, you got to love a weekend, man, when you're flying the race sponsor.
Yeah, I love it. It's great to have Cheez-It back on the car. You know, we're looking forward to having a good weekend. We haven't had any track time yet with this new repave, and a lot of guys have. So we're looking forward to getting out there and see what it's like.
Now, Roush has had some guys at the test. So what type of knowledge have you leaned on from your teammates?
You know, the mostly technical, you know, the guys talking about setups and brakes and those kinds of things. Talked to a few guys. Really, the track drives about the same. So, you know, it's going to be, I'm going to curious to get out there and see what it's like.
All right, Greg Biffle, he's got a lot of experience here at Watkins Glen and can get it done, that's for sure. But this track with a repave is completely different. Talking to guys yesterday that are doing the Xfinity race, talking to guys that were here at the test. Some guys were here in Cup a day early. They were here yesterday just so they can watch Xfinity practice and see what the tendencies are. Of course, though, these Cup cars are completely different than the Xfinity Series cars. Less downforce is the biggest thing. That means these Cup cars will probably run a little bit faster speeds. They'll be a little more edgy around this racetrack. One of the things to look out for is brake temperature. What the brake temperatures will be on these cars compared to maybe the Xfinity Series with less downforce, with less of this spoiler that you see right here. The Xfinity Series spoiler goes about this high. It looks like a bat wing. So these cars right here will have to use a little bit more brake than those cars over in that garage. Goodyear doing a great job. They had a tire test here with a handful of drivers, and they had tested a bunch of different compounds, and it really turned out to be that the best compound was the one that they brought here. Trevor Bayne, Carl Edwards, Logano, Harvick, and Casey Kane all were part of that initial Goodyear tire test here. We did have a test here as well, but the tire test proved to bring this compound here that both the Xfinity Series and the Cup cars are running this weekend. It has some grip, but this racetrack, remember, the new repay, people are saying it's one of the better ones that they've seen. There's grip, but when you lose it, it's like it goes from hot to cold. And it's the same thing with these tires because it's a very hard compound that we're running here this weekend. So you do have grip, a decent grip level, but when it goes away, it goes away. So we're going to see a lot of on-the-edge racing today. You're going to see it in practice. You're going to see it in qualifying, and you'll definitely see it in the race. As the groove widens out, though, as more rubber's laid down on this racetrack, I still expect to see that typical brand of amazing racing here at Watkins Glen. This is one of the racier tracks that we go to on our circuit. There it is, Cheez-It. The Cheez-It 355 at the Glen. The Biff's ride. Right alongside Paul Menard, the number 27. Another one of the teams that's on the outside looking in. And points-wise, it's going to be very difficult for them to even think about making it in the chase for the Sprint Cup. So what does this 27 team need to do? They need to win a race. Last week, a big step in the right direction. Really fast, unloaded off the hauler. Really good run in qualifying. The race, well, they didn't have the result that they wanted to, but this team is trending in the right direction. Clint Bowyer's number 15 being pushed in the peak ride. Danica Patrick's number 10, Nature's Bakery. Let's go see if we can mess with Bowyer here. All right, Clint Bowyer here holding up the jack here in the garage area. All right, dude, gotta ask you, it's the coolest thing in the garage. Can you guess what it is?
The coolest thing in the garage?
I think it's your shoes.
Man, I'm not a big fan of white shoes. I usually make fun of people that have white race shoes on.
I think it's kind of cool.
I have on. Emmerich, I'm doing this for you, my big sponsor. He said, damn it, you're going to wear a white fire suit and white shoes. And
now, if you were at a dirt track, I'd pick on you, but come on, man. You could do some dancing.
I'm a kid that grew up playing in the dirt. How do you think white shoes and a white fire suit's going to do for me over the weekend? I'll need 5 of them to stay clean.
I love it. Clint Bowyer having some fun here. White Shoes Johnson. I don't know. We could come up with a few nicknames for Bowyer here, but the Peak Boys are getting this thing all shined up and ready to go here for practice number 1 at Watkins Glen. Hey, Chuck Busch, is it here at Watkins Glen? Is it here? Is it here?
It's here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, Chuck was picking on me before because that's what we do with each other. And Chuck was picking on me because there was a count going in the truck on how many times I said the word here. So I'm trying my best not to say the word for y'all. Eric Amarola, the Smithfield, fueled by bacon, number 43. And then Dex and the boys right here, and Bill getting this number 13 Geico ride ready to go. Casey Mears' car. And the boys are here working on it. I don't know if they're looking at paperwork or looking at menus. Hey, Bill, why don't you tell the fans on that camera there on GarageCam your name and what you do on this 13 team?
My name is Bill Mars, and I am the Michael Jordan of Interior Specialists.
Wow, the Michael Jordan of Interior Specialists. That's not the LeBron James,
No.
Not the Steph Curry.
No, Michael Jordan.
So you're the GOAT. You're the greatest of all time?
Yes, sir. Someone just ask Ryan Dexter. He will confirm that I am the Michael Jordan of interior, guys.
Wow. Now we've heard it all. I think the show could be over now. We've interviewed the greatest of all time. Unbelievable. Chuck Busch is shaking his head. He can't believe it either. Chuck on camera today. CJ producing. We're all just swapping roles here today. Hey, check it out. We found a driver, Chuck. Chuck is like doing his best to hurdle over jacks and everything. He's doing a great job. All right, here's a veteran Sprint Cup Series driver, Michael McDowell. Dude, this is a big weekend for you. 200th career Sprint Cup Series start.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. You know, I feel very thankful and blessed to survive as long as I have in the Sprint Cup Series. You know, at the end of 2008, if you'd have told me I was going to make another 180 starts, I'd told you you're out of your mind. So, you know, to be 8 years later and 200 starts is pretty cool.
All right, and you got a big night tonight, too?
Yeah, big night. Yeah, at Outlaw Speedway, we got I think it's our 9th annual MRO night, and we go out there and run some dirt modifieds, a lot of fun. It's great to help out our local short track and for a great cause of supporting MRO, and MRO's done, you know, so much for my family and I, you know, being the ministry that travels with NASCAR and really helped us grow and deepen our faith. So it's fun to be able to go slide some dirt, and for me, it's definitely out of my comfort zone.
But he loves it. He's a two-time winner at MRO Night, at Outlaw Speedway, and now making his 200th career Sprint Cup Series start. That's a pretty big feat right there for Michael McDowell. David Regan, one of a kind, Dr. Pepper on the side of his 23, the Unadilla, Georgia native, who's going to be giving some media members pace car rides on Sunday. Always a lot of fun to take a pace car around this awesome hilly, up and down, winding facility. And here was the big story right alongside last week. Little strategy, a little rain played in the favor of this young Texas driver. And I'll tell you what, there were some people, I have to say, I heard some people say, well, Chris Buescher won the race. That's not really a great story. On the contrary, I thought that this is one of the stories of the season. A young driver who's been performing better and better throughout his rookie season. Kind of a satellite team of the Roush Fenway organization over here with Front Row, and getting to get into victory lane, and now they sit only a few points out of the 30th place spot. And I'll tell you what, this team could be a contender in the chase. They can make the chase. Right now, I don't know if you can see it up on the screen right there. Chuck Busch is zooming in a little bit, but right now on NASCAR.com, you may be watching Press Pass. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is in the media center right now. Quote, Dale Jr. saying, quote, "Our intentions are to get clear and to get back racing." Jr. says he doesn't know when he's going to get back in the car. So make sure you check out that video on Press Pass Live right now. Also, I'm sure we'll have a little clip of it as well on NASCAR.com. Some of the biggest news of the day, Dale Earnhardt Jr. here at Watkins Glen addressing the media in the media center right now. Still hopes to get back in the car this season. I know conversing with Jr. throughout the last few weeks, he's been frustrated, but he's been very patient. He's following the orders of his doctors. Jr. admitting that he had a little bit of dizziness and that uncomfortable feeling. And, you know, to step out of the race car, something that you love and so passionate about, to make that decision, a lot of us respect that decision. Dale Earnhardt Jr. doing the right things to get back in his number 88 Exalta race car. Obviously disappointed not being back this weekend, but Jeff Gordon, a guy that's pretty darn good here at Watkins Glen, filling in the seat. We're almost to halfway, and hey, Chuck, I just got to look at this. See the name on here? This right here might be the coolest thing in Watkins Glen right now. Dutch Hogue, the legendary modified driver. 4 generations of Hogues have raced up here in the Northeast. Actually, the 4th generation just winning a quarter midget race this weekend. But Dutch Hogue, a tribute paint scheme by TBR right here. Driver Regan Smith will be piloting this car. People in this region, when this car hits the track, will see this and have fond memories of one of the greats in modified racing. Have fond memories of that and a big smile on their face. We just lost Dutch Hogue, and I'll tell you what a true gentleman. The Hogue family, a great family in motorsports here in the Northeast, and so respected throughout the entire country. Hogue just dominated at places like Langhorne and Trenton. And my dad used to tell me stories of just how good that Genesee beer number 7 was. And this weekend, Tommy Baldwin with Modified Lineage paying tribute to the great Dutch Hogue. Brian Scott's Shaw's on the hood. I love their chocolate chip cookies. Shaw's in Shore Lodge number 44. Matt DiBenedetto, the number 83 right alongside. We are halfway. Hey, who's going to be the flagman today? CJ? No? Halfway. All right, Michael Annett here in the garage area. See if we can grab a word with Michael real quick. You have one heck of a cool little thing on your hood there. Why don't you explain the St. Jude deal on your hood?
Yeah, this is the fourth year we're going to have the St. Jude Tournament for Hope in Des Moines, Iowa. It's going to be Monday. Obviously being from there, I like to go back to my roots and bring everybody back there as much as I can. But really cool deal. We've raised over $400,000 on this deal, and like I said, fourth time. We keep going back. Hopefully it just keeps growing and growing.
All right, that's a great thing. Michael Annett using his platform to do so much good in this sport. St. Jude's Iowa Tournament of Hope on the side of that number 46. H. Scott Motorsports. It's really loud out here because we're in between two cars. But we got to see Boris Sed's car because there's a lot of Sed heads whenever we come here to Watkins Glen. That number 32 car paying homage to the Matador, the old Bobby Allison ride with that paint scheme. And Genesee Light, a local beer that I think Chuck Busch nods his head that he has partaked in. So have I. And here is David Regan walking through the garage here. See if we can get away from the noise here. All right, I heard we're going to go for a pace car ride on Sunday.
Yeah, so Toyota's the official car of Watkins Glen, and I'll give you a good ride. I don't think you're going to have to wear a helmet, but we'll have some fun.
Are you going to try to make like Chuck loses lunch?
Yeah, it's one of those deals where you want to push it to the limit, show you guys a good time, but I don't want to be the guy that tears up the pace car either. So we'll try to run over a few curbs, get up to speed.
All right, you're a veteran in this sport. I want to know your take on what you think here with the new pavement, hard tire. How's it going to be?
I think strategy will be a little different this year. I think fuel mileage is going to be important because you won't really need those new tires for that grip. I don't think the tires are going to wear out a lot, so I'm excited to get on the racetrack and see how it is. It stinks to pave these places because as a driver, and even as a fan of the sport, you like those old, worn-out racetracks, but sometimes it's just a necessity. You got to do that. So kudos to Watkins Glen for doing a nice job paving the place, and Goodyear for bringing a good tire. I think the strategy will play a little different out on Sunday.
All right, David Regan, driver of the BK Racing, Dr. Pepper Toyota, and a lot of drivers saying that, hey, look out for those last few pit stops. You might see guys go in, take fuel only, maybe 2 tires, depending on what their strategy throughout the race is. But this is not going to be a tire race, folks. This is going to be a race where, you could run the same set of tires for a long time. So you might see people swallow up some track position and do just that. The dark walk across to the other side of the garage area here, and Jamie Mack already in his car, getting ready to go. Kyle Larson pulling double duty outside in the bright sunshine there of Watkins Glen. By the way, updating you, Dale Earnhardt Jr. says he's health outside of the racing is very important, but it's a difficult decision to make to step out of the car. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. addressing the media right now in the media center here at Watkins Glen International, and his fill-in driver, not a bad fill-in driver if you're going to have any fill-in driver, but you see the name above the roof right there, Dale Earnhardt Jr. The name is on the front windshield. They won't take it off the car. That's because this is Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s ride. Jeff Gordon knows his role. Yes, he's one of the greatest of all time. Yes, he's a future Hall of Famer, but he is the fill-in driver for Dale Earnhardt Jr. That's his job. That's his role, his responsibility with Hendrick Motorsports right now. He knows that role. He embraces that role. 23 starts here. 23 starts for Jeff Gordon, most of anybody here at Watkins Glen International as far as active drivers. 4 wins, the road course master, 9 wins on the road courses in NASCAR. Gets to do it again, strapping on the Scroff seat belts inside that Chevrolet SS. Maybe one last time here at Watkins Glen, a place where he's seen so much success. Chase Elliott, Sun Energy on board, one of the brighter cars in the field for Chase Elliott. Sun Energy doing double duty on the sponsorship role, Junior Motorsports. Right now they're on the Kenny Habul number 88 in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Austin Dillon rocking out some autographs here on our way into Watkins Glen. All right, buddy. You know, now you're a veteran. You're not a newcomer, so a lot of people are respecting the opinions of guys like you that have been around now for a few years. New tire, new surface. What do you think?
It's similar to the old track, less grip right now, but I think by the end of the weekend you're going to see some fast laps. So as the rubber laid down, it just got faster in Xfinity, faster our tests. So I'm looking forward to it. This place is it's fast. It's a lot of fun.
What is the fun factor here? I mean, you can hustle a car, but at the same time, there's so much discipline.
Yeah, I think it's just so line-driven, too. Like, you really got to hit your marks, and then braking is the big thing for me, is getting my brake pressure up there as high as I can get it so I can get in the corner really hard.
It's an exciting time for this guy. Carolina Panthers training camp is underway. He's trying to get himself into the chase. Yeah, Superman. Big Carolina Panthers fan, as is this crew. We're kind of biased. CJ is not. He's a Philadelphia Eagle fan, but he can't help it. Not everybody's perfect. Matt Kenseth's Dollar General Toyota. Kenseth, well, not the greatest track for Matt Kenseth. 16 starts here, only 1 top 5. But, you know, they almost got themselves into position to win last time that we were here with pit strategy. So at the end of the race, he got on the radio and even said, oh, man, you know, we almost had one. We almost won that race. So Matt Kenseth, not out of the picture, not out of the fold. It may not be his best track, but Kenseth is never really a guy that you can count out. Speaking of guys that have struggled a little bit historically here at Watkins Glen International, we're looking at the car right here, the FedEx Freight number 11, Denny Hamlin, 10 starts, average finish of 20.7. He's got a win so far this year, does Denny Hamlin, so he is in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. But this place right here has just not been too successful for the driver of the number 11. The boys on the 20 team always like to mess with you when you're doing camera or when you're on the microphone, but we all have fun. The number 78, Martin Truex Jr., Denver Mattress Machine. What a disappointment for them last week, getting the pole, being one of the fastest cars all weekend long at Pocono, and to have it end the way they did, a struggle all day with a wrecked race car by the end of the day, and just not a great weekend. But they put that one behind them. Now they come to Watkins Glen and look for a better performance. 10 starts, 3 top 5 finishes for the Marietta, New Jersey driver at Watkins Glen. The Jimmy Johnson Foundation, 10th anniversary of this great foundation that just does so much for children, for different charities. Absolutely unbelievable foundation. Jimmy uses his platform the right way. A lot of these drivers do, but 10th anniversary, it's cool to see that the foundation has been around for that long. Jimmy Johnson, the 2-time winner so far this year, and of course 6-time champion of our sport. One of the racetracks right here where he still has yet to get a win, and he desperately wants one here. No pressure because they're already in the chase, but can Jimmy Johnson add this to the list of tracks that he knocks off the list and gets a win at? 4 top 5 finishes at the Glen. Not the greatest record, but hey, for you stat nerds, 219 quality passes. So for fantasy, don't count out Jimmy Jam right here in the number 48. cruising around here. We're actually inside the garage of the number 22 of Joey Logano right now. See if we can walk over and maybe grab a word with Carl Edwards. Carl talking to some media right now in his car. Edwards holds the distinction of the best average finish here at Watkins Glen, 8.4. One of the drivers that tested here is Carl Edwards, and we'll get a word with Carl real quick before you head out for practice. You've got some seat time here with this new pavement, with the new tire. You guys chose this compound, a little stiff, hard of a compound, but what do you think it's going to be out there with this new pavement and new tire?
Well, the pavement is spectacular. They did a really good job. And Goodyear, we came here, we had tires. Goodyear can make a tire so good that it runs for 20 laps, never falls off. You know, there's no time loss. And they made a choice to come back with a little bit harder one, which I thought was really cool. It's going to make it a little harder to drive. I think it'll put it a little more in the driver's hands, but who knows? You know, this place is so fast. You know, I don't think any of us know what the race is going to come down to. It could come down to, you know, fading brakes or, you know, locking up tires, or it could fall off and it could be a handling thing. So I think now we'll just go out and practice and see what we've got.
You know, you have less downforce in these things. You might be driving them in harder, might be higher brake temperatures. So, I mean, what approach do you think is going to be it? Is it going to be an aggressive approach or a steady approach?
Well, this place is always aggressive. I mean, it's you got to really be an animal to do well here. You know, you look at guys like Ambrose and Stewart and those guys that you know, they really get down in the corners, really drive hard, and that's probably going to be what it comes to. It's going to be the braking zones are pretty cool here.
Carl Edwards driver, this number 19, two-time winner this season. About 3 or 4 minutes left till GarageCam is over, and some cars are already pulling out on the track right now. The number 41 Monster Energy ride of Kurt Busch pulling out onto the track. Kurt Busch, well, he hasn't had much success here, an average finish of 17.7, but right alongside his brother, 4-time winner in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series this season, the number 18 of Kyle Busch, a 9-time winner in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. What a season so far for Kyle Busch, and 2 wins here at Watkins Glen and a pole. So Kyle Busch is quite frankly, the man when it comes here to Watkins Glen, besides maybe Tony Stewart, besides maybe Jeff Gordon statistically. But Kyle Busch, one of the best of the best. And remember, he almost got a win, a 3rd win a few years back when he got kind of booted out of the way by Brad Keselowski, and then, of course, the last lap duel between he and Marcus Ambrose. Something of, well, NASCAR legend, one of the finishes that we'll always look back at, and in my opinion, one of the best last laps of any NASCAR race I have ever seen. Busch Beer on the side of the Kevin Harvick ride. A really strong finish for this 4-team last weekend in 4th position. And Tony Stewart, his teammate, finishing in 5th. What a show that they put on at Pocono last week. And despite all the delay and despite it being a track that Harvick doesn't traditionally run that well at, but a great finish for this 4-car, trending definitely in the right direction. Harvick has a win here at Watkins Glen, so he's got a little experience getting into victory lane. But, you know, this is going to be a different animal for all these drivers, for all these teams. This is the type of race where the crew chiefs, the crew members, the car chiefs make their money. Because the notebook, well, you're still going to go back to it because, like they said, the paving job, the fundamentals of this racetrack are all the same. But with a different paving compound, you're talking about different entry points, different brake temperatures, different tire temperatures. Things are going to just be different with this new pavement with a harder tire. So expect a lot of busy and stressed out crew chiefs, especially here at the beginning of this practice session. We're about to wrap it up on NASCAR.com GarageCam. Crew chiefs are up on the top of the pit boxes as we get ready for practice. You see Tony Gibson up there, the crew chief of the number 41, on probation through the rest of the season, of course, after the post-race inspection. A few cars will be sitting out the first part of this practice as well. The 20 of Matt Kenseth, the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. and the 18 of Kyle Busch have to sit out 15 minutes of practice. So very interesting developments. Make sure to keep it logged on to NASCAR.com all weekend long, and make sure to watch the Cheez-It 355 at the Glen Sunday, August 7th, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on USA Network. Remember, folks, the race is on USA Network this week, MRN Radio, Sirius Satellite XM. And until next time, I'm Matthew Dillner, and we'll see you at the races.